Hi BookTube, my name is Juan. I am just one reader, and today I will be answering the anti-TBR tag, which was created by the channel Nicole and Her Books. I was personally tagged to do this by Leo from A Little Book Live. I am doing this tag pretty much off the cuff without having pre-planned the answers that thoroughly. I will try not to repeat Leo's answers in here because when I was watching Leo's video, I kept thinking of very similar answers. So I will try to bring something new to the table here. So the first prompt is a popular book that everyone loves, but you have no interest in reading. I am thinking of Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell and also Girl, Woman, Other by Bernadine Evaristo. I am not interested in reading any of those books at all. They sound awful to me. I know that maybe I am being short sighted, prejudiced. I don't know, maybe I am, but they sound awful to me, so I won't read them. Second prompt is a classic book or author that you don't have an interest in reading. I think Leo gave the same answer, but Shakespeare. Shakespeare, I cannot stand. Maybe I am saying this coming from a place of ignorance. Quite probably I am. I have no interest in reading Shakespeare. I don't like the Shakespeare thing. I don't like the old English, and no, it bores me to tears. Who else? Anything really old, like all of the Greek classics, I am not interested in. I have read some of them for my classes and assignments, and for some of my psychoanalytical studies, of course, but it just doesn't appeal to me. And yeah, I'm never going to read any of those unless I really have to. Number three is more general, an author in general whose books you have no interest in reading. Anything like hard romance, like Danielle Steele, that kind of thing. I'm not interested. Anything that sounds really generic, like anything that you could buy at the airport, like those really generic, like detective thrillers. I don't think I will ever try those, but never say never. Then the next question is what is a problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading? Well, here I absolutely disagree with the question itself because I do not agree with the idea that just because an author is problematic, you should not read them or you should cancel them. I think it's very sad when people do this. Of course, people are free to do whatever they want and they should read what they want to read. And if something makes them uncomfortable, they should do whatever is comfortable. But personally, my opinion, the way that I think about these things is that when people decide that they are canceling or erasing an author just because they are problematic or morally difficult or uncomfortable or whatever, when people decide to cancel them or take those authors' books off of their shelves, I think that is really sad. And I think that goes against mental growth and mental development. I think that the more mature people are, the better prepared they are to handle uncomfortable, difficult situations of tension. People who cannot separate author from work, people who can't do that separation and therefore decide that if someone is problematic, their work becomes dangerous or unpalatable or intolerable. I think I'm really against that. For example, J.K. Rowling, of course, the whole canceling J.K. Rowling thing is crazy, delirious. I completely support J.K. Rowling in that. But there are many other authors who are difficult and problematic, and their works might or might not be problematic. But I think that we should never close our minds. For example, Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell, just because it is problematic in certain regards, that doesn't mean that you should cancel that book. It's a gorgeous book. So it makes me very sad when people develop this sort of very strong defenses against mental growth just because something is difficult. But again, I completely support that people should do what is right for them and what is comfortable for them. That's just my struggle with things. But anyway, the next question is an author that you have read a couple of books from and you have decided this author is just not for you. Oh boy, there are many. Sarah Moss, I read The Title Zone and it was so bad. I'm never going to read her again. Francis Spofford, I read his book Golden Hill. It was so badly written and so ridiculous and so obnoxious that I'm never going to read that author again. Um, I'm thinking of Brandon Sanderson. The worst book that I've ever read was the Mistborn book. The first one, it was just so bad. James Patterson, those are authors that I have read maybe one or two books from. Oh, Marlon James, I read his Man Booker winning book, The Five Killings in Jamaica or something like that. It was so bad that I have completely repressed it. So I'm never reading anything else by those authors because I really, really disliked them and I really didn't like the experience. The next question is a genre that you have no interest in reading or that you tried to get into and couldn't. I would say science fiction is like the hard science fiction is just not for me. Dune by Frank Herbert sounds awful to me. Just I'm not interested. However, there are some short stories that I have read, for example, by George Saunders, that incorporate science fiction elements, and I really like them because they make me think and they are very funny. They are elements that bring a certain playfulness to the short story collection. So in those instances, I really like sci-fi, but I don't think I would ever pick up a straight up science fiction book. The next question is a book that you have bought but will never read. I have a beautiful copy of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. It's a book that I have no interest in reading ever. It will never happen, but my edition is so beautiful that it will be there on my bookshelf forever. Number seven, a series that you have no interest in reading or that you have started and DNF'd. I don't usually start a series and then decide to DNF it. Usually, when that happens, when I decide not to move forward, I always like to think more of that I am leaving the door open, that I can come back to the series if I ever decide that I want to go back. So I don't usually DNF series except, horrible things like the Mistborn series. But I usually have a pretty open criteria or an open policy there. And finally, question number 8, a new release that you have no interest in reading. Um, I'm thinking of, I think there are many books in the literary fiction category that are very recently published that I just don't feel any sort of emotional interest towards, like the Vanishing Half, or all of those books that are written by really ethnic names and they talk about the American experience or the British experience, I just don't really connect to that kind of narrative just because it doesn't really appeal to me. I don't belong to American culture or British culture. So even though that is really popular and really prominent in the literary fiction category in the English speaking world, I just have no interest in reading that. That's it. Those are the questions. The anti-TBR tag. I am giving an open tag. If anyone decides that they want to do this tag, please feel free to say that I tagged you. And as usual, before I go, I am going to try and sing. My voice is not in the best place ever, but it's sort of getting better. And I will try to sing one of the first songs that I ever rehearsed when I was very young, when I was starting my vocal journey. This is a song titled "If I Can't Love Her," and it's from the Disney musical Beauty and the Beast. It's not in the movie, the old one or the new one. It's just in the Broadway show, and it's crazy difficult. So here it is, "If I Can't Love Her." And in my twisted face, there's not the slightest trace of anything that even hints at kindness. And from my tortured shape, no comfort, no escape. I see but deep within his utter blindness, hopeless as my dream dies, as the time flies. Love, a lost illusion, helpless, unforgiven, cold, and driven to this sad conclusion. No beauty could move me, no goodness improve me, no power on earth if I can't love her. No passion could reach me, no lesson could teach me how I could have loved her and make her love me too. If I can't love her, then who? Long ago I should have seen all the things I could have been, but careless and unthinking I moved onward. No pain could be deeper, no life could be cheaper, no point anymore if I can't love her. No spirit could win me, no hope left within me. Hope I could have loved her and that she'd set me free. But it's not to be if I can't love her.
Let the world be